Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, we'll be unboxing this beat up old Amazon box that supposedly holds my standard retail version of Voidfall. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I'm going to unbox my standard retail version of Voidfall. I did already do an unboxing of the Galactic box, which I pre-ordered during the GameFound campaign, so you can find a link in the description of that, but this one's a little different. I'll also do an entirely separate video that's just comparing all the components in the retail box, or the standard box, to the deluxe Galactic box. So you can look forward to that coming soon as well. But let's see what's in here. I bought this from my friendly local game store, but they were not local. So a friendly, semi-distant game store, which is, I guess, why it showed up like this. Let's see. Decent packing. I was a little bit worried about the old box, but there we go. Wow, it's heavy. Let's get this other stuff out of here. Okay. That's looking pretty nice. And yeah, I got a sweet deal, $99.99. So find it if you can get it. Let's get the shrink off of here. And mostly I bought this, I've already got the Galactic box, and I quite enjoy it. I don't really need a second, but I had a number of people asking on previous videos, specifically, that's loud, about some of the components on the Etsy store that I've got. Link in the description for those. The Etsy store is called Brain Bucket Games, which I own with a couple friends, and we make some Voidfall replacement components, which I think are super cool. But there are questions about whether or not they'd fit in this box and how they'd interact with the retail components. So I bought it just for you folks who are asking. And it happens to be day of filming, one of my friend's birthdays. So I'm just going to gift him this. Let's see what's inside. I mean, I kind of know what's inside, but let's see it. All right. This is the first player marker. You can set that aside. So the booklets you would get either way, notification for the companion app. This is the reference sheet for the icons, which is not as daunting as it looks. It's just very exhaustive. They did a great job with the icons. Here's the rule book. It is extensive, but there's a lot of pictures in there. And then this is your best friend. This is the glossary. This is where you turn if you have any questions about anything in the game. It's super handy, super well laid out. The icons are great, but if you're ever confused, this lays everything out in pure text and language. I was going to say in pure English, but maybe you've got the German or French edition. This one's English. Here's the compendium. This gives you a little bit of lore at the beginning, which I always love. And then it gives you information on how to play the tutorial if you're new. And then it gives you all these different map setups for solo, and for co-op, and for competitive. And the maps get bigger at the higher player counts. So those are the main booklets. Here's the Galactic board. So this is two-sided. This is the competitive side. And then this is the side that's familiar to me, the co-op or solo side. Feels about the same as the other one. I'm sure it is. Here are the houses. So there should be 14 of these. Looks like they're in no particular order. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So there are no AAA player boards. I know that. You just use this, which is fine. And then they've got the sort of basic strategy notes for each house on the back. I wonder what order these are in. They're not alphabetical. They're not by complexity. All right, here's all the punch boards. There's the sectors, Harbinger tokens. See the crisis board here. These are the fleet tokens. Set that aside. Okay, there is an insert. Oh, with a plastic cover. Oh, there's a little hole there. Okay. Just to keep everything in place. So here we've got corruption markers, the pegs for the dials. There's a dark gray. There's pegs for light gray. This is really important for assembly. People mess this up all the time. I'm going to set these aside, but I'll come back to it. Don't forget, I've got chapter markers in the description if you want to jump to that. Here's the focus cards. Text, basic and improved. Alert deck, crisis deck, a bunch of bags for storage, galactic events. Here are the track markers, civilization track markers. Here are the fleet power cubes. There should be 14 in each of the player colors, yellow, blue, pink, and green. And then a bunch of orange ones for the Voidborn. I don't know how many of those off the top of my head. Here's some population dice. There's one of each of the player colors, green, pink, blue, yellow, and then purple and black ones. Purple are variable. The black ones are fixed. You can't move the population in those sectors. It looks like that's it, which I'm making it sound like that's not much, but that's plenty. So there's a lot more punch boards in this one than in the Galactic box. So if you want to stick around, I'm going to speed it up for you. And I'm going to punch all this stuff out and try and figure out how to organize it in this box. So here we go. So let's take a quick pause for a minute here. I've gone through most of the components. Of all of the booklets that come with the game, the rule book in the very beginning, just past this table of contents, this will give you the quantities for every type of item you should have in the game. So I do recommend going through and double checking and making sure you have the right number of each thing that you're supposed to have. And I will say that the publisher of Voidfall, Mindclash Games, has been super responsive. If you have any issues, like I once did, if you send them an email, you can find that on their website. They're usually responsive pretty quick, and they'll help you out with whatever you need. So if you've gotten to this point, we've kind of punched everything out. You'll have all these little punch board circles and little pieces that are kind of left over. You want to take all those, you want to put them in a bag, put them under your pillow, and when you wake up in the morning, you'll have a sack of quarters. So that's how that works. Now let's talk about these dials. You do want to make sure you've got everything, and I would recommend punch it all out before you try and assemble anything. So you're going to have 4 of these, 1 in each player color, 4 of these, which are identical, and then there's these dials that are in each player color, and you'll have 3 of each, and they'll have big numbers from 0 to 9, and on the back they'll be black. You don't want to confuse them with all these dials, of which there will be 4 of each type. So there's going to be 4 in each resource color, so green, yellow, pink, brown, blue, with 2 sets of numbers on the dial, an outer ring and an inner ring, and then also 4 of each with just an outer ring. And the outer ring is going from 0 to 15 on all of them. These are all 0 to 15. So these are your influence dials. This is how you track your victory points. And these are what you want. Let me not mess you up. So we've got 2 colors of pegs here. We've got some light gray pegs. Let's dump some of those out. And some dark gray pegs. Here's the mistake that a lot of people make. They think because there's two boards that the dark gray pegs, because there's fewer of them, must go on this board. That is not the case. If you start going down that route, you're going to run out of dark gray pegs before you're done. The dark gray pegs are for this board. Notice that this part is dark. So they go here. So there's 2 pegs there times 4 boards is 8 of those pegs. Here, there's 3 times 4, so you need there's 12 holes here. So if you start using these dark ones, you're going to run out. If you've already made that mistake and you've already assembled it and you want to take these apart without try and get the pegs back off without damaging it, the 2 things I've seen online are flip it to the back side, where if you do damage the cardboard, you won't see it. You don't want to damage the face. You can try wrapping some dental floss around it and pulling it off that way. I've also seen taking a dull knife or like the backside of a knife, like a butter knife, and try and work it under that dial and gently work your way around and pop it off that way. So if you've assembled it incorrectly and you want to undo it, those are the things that I've seen online that I would recommend, but I've not had to do that myself, luckily. So let's assemble this yellow one. So we're going to take, I guess we got to open both bags because there's fronts and there's backs. So take this here, this is we'll call it the female side of this piece here, and push it through from the top because it's going to pop a little, and so you'd rather have that on the back side. And then take one of these dials, again, just big numbers from 0 to 9, and you're going to put that on next. And then you take the male side of this and you plug that into the back and you press together and they'll snap. And this will be a really tight fit, but this dial should rotate under your thumb, and it'll loosen up a little bit as you use it more, but not a lot. So it'll never get loose to the point where you just go like this and it'll fly. Like, it holds its space pretty good, which is really nice. So now we're going to do the same thing with the other 2. Test great. I'll go ahead and set it to 0, 1, 0, because you always start the game with 10 influence. So that one's ready. So you do the same thing with these panels here. These are your resource trackers. So we'll put the female side in here. We'll just work our way down. And then the last one, we're going to need these dark gray plugs. Put one of them there. All right, so on this left-hand side, just the way I've set it up here, that's where you want the dials with 2 sets of number, an outer ring and an inner ring. So we're going to take this green one that goes on top, just match it to the colors that are here. So green one goes here. Pop it on, and they do have a helpful guide here on the back. So they're all numbered green 1, green 2, yellow 3, yellow 4, pink 5, pink 6, brown 7, brown 8, blue 9, blue 10. And then the dials are also numbered, so you can kind of line them up, make sure they're going in the right place. And then this will rotate as well. And so the outer number will be clear here, and then the inner number from that inner ring you'll be able to see here. So if I set this one to, say, 4, it says 4 on the outside, 3 on the inside. So this is for your food. Your food production level is 4, your yield is 3, and then this other side is going to be the stockpile. So let me work my way down the other ones here. So here's the yellow, number 4. Pink, number 6. See, that said 5. Glad they did that. 6. And brown, number 8. Oops. It goes there. And then blue, number 10. And remember, this is the dark piece. Okay, so just make sure that they all work. And again, these are pretty tight to begin with, but they'll loosen up a little bit as you use them. And in case you haven't played and you're not familiar, the reason this one is a darker color, you've got these three resources: food, energy, material, and then you've got credits, which is just money. And you can often use credits in place of these other three. This last one is your scientific research resource, and you cannot use credits in place of that, so they've differentiated it for that reason. So now I'm just going to do the same thing on the right-hand side here. Let's plug these in. And the dark one on the bottom. And so now I need green, number 1. Yellow, number 3. Pink, number 5. Brown, number 7. Blue, number 9. This one's fighting me a little. Just gonna fight back, that's okay. There we go. And then the dark one on the bottom. There you go. And we'll test these as well. And this just has the one window for the one set of numbers. And this is how much resource you actually have in your stockpile. So I just set everything to 0 to start the game. So that's one of these and one of these. So then you just repeat that same thing for the rest of them. So I'm going to do that real quickly, and then I'll put all this stuff away. So let's see what we can do about getting all this stuff in the box. So first of all, there's going to be 30 of these hexagonal tiles. These are the sector tiles. They're all double-sided. 4 of them with the little house icon on them are house. They have the house icon on both sides. All the rest of them are going to have something interesting on one side and a standard sector on the other. The standard sector's just got this empty hexagon. So since they've all got standard sectors on the back, I recommend putting the interesting side, as I'll call it, face up in the box so you know what it is, because you always know what's on the back side. And then I put the home tiles at the top. I've got 2 here and 2 here. So you can put them in whatever order you want, but 15 in each of these. And there's a little slot here for your catastrophe tokens. There's 3 of those. I assume that's what that's for. Maybe it's not what it's for, but they fit really good. So that's what I'm going to put there for now. I did not inventory these cards. Since I'm going to give this away, I'm going to let somebody else do that. And I'm not going to sleeve these. But you should have the focus cards here. There should be 10 in each player color. And then... I'm sorry, 9 in each player color, so green, pink, yellow, and blue. And then you'll have 10 heroic focus and 10 joint focus cards as well. So it should be around here somewhere. There's also the galactic events, plus the player aids for solo and co-op for easy, medium, and hard mode. So that's what should be in those. Your crisis cards, levels 0, 1, 2, and 3. We know that these are the techs, these are the alert deck, and some of the starting, probably all the agendas, plus the starting agendas. So real quickly, I used 2 bags, and I guess I had a couple of bags left over. I'm going to do a whole video on, I've already got a whole video on the Voidfall Etsy stuff that I've got for sale, so you can check that out. I'll do another one that covers a retail box. But generally, it helps to sort things out by the player color. So I've got 3 extra bags. I probably could have rearranged this a little bit differently and had 4 bags, 1 for each player color. I'll figure that out later. But here's the fleet tokens, and they are nice for anyone who's curious. I think they're a little big, but they are dual layered, so they can fit your cubes in there. And they're all just black on the back. So I put player Corvettes and Voidfall Corvettes in this one, or Voidborn Corvettes, I should say, the corrupted Corvettes in this one. And the other one has all the other special ship types. So you're going to have 12 sentries, 12 destroyers, 12 dreadnoughts, and then 10 carriers. So those are in there. And I do like these bags. They've got the little hole punch in it so that they don't fill up with air. Oh, you are going to have pegs left over. That's okay. Don't freak out about that. These are the only things that need the pegs. So if you've got some at the end, that's just fine. You should have your player icon or your player turn order markers, one in each color, plus I believe 12 trade tokens. It lists the quantities for all of these glory tokens. In the manual, you can look at that. I know there's 48 bounty tokens, 27 reclaim tokens. I recommend keeping those in separate bags, or you can, put this bag in this bag because they kind of get used together, but you don't want to mix them up because it's a pain. Here's your guild tokens. They're all double-sided, but I believe there's 42 of those, or there of these. 15 and 25 maybe, 40 of these total. They're all sector defense on one side, then most of them are shipyards on the back, but some are star bases on the back. For the cubes, I said there's 14 in each player color, which is correct. There are 40 of these orange Voidborn ones. I already forgot on these. There were 6 of these fixed die. I forget how many of the variable die, but it's in the manual. 12 of these civilization track markers, these clear squares. I forgot on these two. I want to say 36 of these corruption markers, which are very nice. These are a little different than the Galactic box. So I've got Void Storms in here, Harbingers. I remember there's 10 Harbingers. I want to say 15 of the Void Storms. And I also threw, what else did I throw in here? Something else I thought. Maybe not. I think I was considering putting the catastrophe tokens in there, but I didn't. Also, just in case, on the punch boards, they just had extra. So there's going to be this little blank circle, and these 3, this is where the trade tokens were. You don't need those blanks, so don't be worried about that. You'll have 5 of these safe haven tiles. Here's your agenda offer tile. This is the technology blocker tile. These are the reminder tiles for combat. So you'll have this large one that's in every game with sector defense and corvettes. This one that's a little bigger for destroyers. And then these smaller ones for star bases, sentries, dreadnoughts, and carriers, depending on what's going on in the game you're playing. Well, we'll fit what we can. So all these little spaces for tokens and such. I think we can fit dice here. And fleet power cubes here. Civilization track markers can fit. And probably another token type. Something's going to have to go there. Let's see if I can flatten this out some. I'm not exactly sure what the plan would be once you get all these cards out of the packaging. But some of these other flat things, I'm sure we can fit. That might be a little too tall. Well, let's just go with this for now. So put this here. Okay. I think I'll put the Galactic board here. And house mats on top. Maybe sneak the crisis board in there. Everything else, I think I'll fit just fine. booklets are flat, so I'll put them here. Everything else should just fit around this pretty easily. I don't love that so much of it is pretty loose, but there's still room in here for sure. So this will fit no problem. There we go. A couple extra bags, some extra pegs. So that's it. That's what's in the retail Voidfall box. So it's still sizable. It's a big box, but it's definitely significantly smaller than the Galactic box too. Just don't be fooled by the look of it, because it's got some serious weight. But for everyone who is asking, that's what's in there. So now we know. So I'll have videos coming out, like I said, going over the Etsy store content and how that fits into this box, and how it compares to some of the components that are in the standard retail box of Voidfall. And I'll also put out a video with doing a comparison for the Galactic box components versus the retail box components. If you still haven't bought the game yet and you're trying to figure out what you might want, hopefully that'll help you make a decision. So if you're still here, feel free to subscribe, share, leave a like, and comment. I'm always happy to get comments, and apparently I read them because I bought a game I already have. So leave me some comments. Maybe I'll buy some other stuff. But then again, you can always go over to the Etsy store and buy some stuff from me, so it'll all wash out in the end. So that's what I have this time. Thank you so much for watching Table for One, and I will see you in the next video.